We are live here with Jason Dugan, rapid fire champion of Atomoc Wrestling, Revolutionary Wrestling, and also the general manager, correct? Still the GM?
Yeah, I'm the man with all the stroke now.
All right.
So you get to tell everybody what to do. What's up with that?
Yeah, they just needed a good general manager. They fired the last guy because he was a complete idiot.
Well, hey, you got to do what you got to do, right?
That's right.
And he's a tag team champion, too,
That's right. Tag team champion with Brothers in Arms.
Yeah. Defending under the Freebird rules.
Nice.
Well, we checked out some of your matches. You got some good matches, man. I really enjoyed the one with you and Elijah Burke, the I Quit match.
Yeah, that was a hell of a match right there, man. Came out of that match hurt.
Yeah.
You guys told a good story, though. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, that match was back and forth. You guys sent each other through hell and back.
Me and Pope, man, we've got a little long history now. And every time I've worked Pope, man, it's always been a learning experience. Pope has a lot of experience from being trained by Dusty Rhodes, Dean Malenko, Arn Anderson, then the list of names that he's been trained by, and just to learn from someone like him, it's crazy.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we met him, was it last June at the River City Wrestling Con?
Yeah, the River City Wrestling Con.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pope is definitely down to earth, man. But when he's in that ring, he brings it, man, every time, man. He don't care who you are, man.
Right.
With me, man, he didn't care who I was, man. General manager or not, man, he was gonna bring it.
Absolutely, man. Another match we saw was with Adam Rose not too long ago. What was that? That was last year, correct? Yeah. So Adam Rose been up just like the Pope has been on WWE before. He's really jacked now, though. So that was an interesting change of pace from when I last saw him in the WWE.
Oh, yeah. He's Adam Rose is very healthy. I get self-conscious about health and everything. He was another guy like working with him, but he was so freaking huge to work. I was like, this guy's big.
Right.
Yeah, it looks like you took a beating.
I did, man, and same thing with Adam Rose, man. When he's in the ring, he means business, and it's always a learning experience to be in the ring with guys that's already been on the mountaintop. And Adam Rose, man, he was in WWE just like Pope was.
Yeah.
And their knowledge of wrestling and how they work, you'll learn like how to stay on your toes in the match. I feel like wrestling Adam Rose, especially him, it made me more aware in the ring. So when I did end up wrestling Pope later on, I was ready to wrestle Pope, but then Pope just got me even more ready.
Oh yeah. The more experience, the better, right?
Yeah, and those guys, man, they hard hit, man. They'll lay it in, man. They don't care.
All right. Absolutely.
Well, one thing I've noticed about you, and you're a nice guy to talk to, but in the ring, you're kind of a heel, bro.
Yeah, man, I do what I gotta do, man. I love wrestling, so I love to entertain, and
Oh yeah, and I hear being a bad guy is always easier than being the baby face.
it is. But if you're a professional, you can be a baby face. You can work heel. You can make fans cheer for you. You can make fans boo you. It's how you work your character.
Yeah, absolutely. Another match we just recently watched was a match back from November against D3 for the Rapid Fire Championship.
I love D3.
You had some good moves in that match, man.
Yeah, the D3, man, it's crazy because I'm so used to working big guys. So, and I'm a bad guy, so I don't like working that cruiserweight style. I can work cruiserweight style. D3 was, man, he's a cruiserweight wrestler, man. So going in the ring with him, I had to change it up a lot how I worked. So it had more fast pace, and if you notice, he was, a lot of that match was him on me, you know.
Oh yeah.
In that match, I had to learn to adjust to his style, and then when I found a cutoff to cut him off, you know that red light district, man, you can crash and burn, man. And he tried to do one more move to me, man, and I caught him.
Yeah. Of course, you did have the assist from JD Amazing, which helped.
Shh, we don't talk about that.
Listen, man, a win is a win. People don't remember JD Amazing. All they remember was I won.
It's true. That's all they remember.
Speaking of JD Amazing, I actually teamed up with him last night.
How'd that go?
It went good. We won the match. We wrestled Jerry Swirls. I don't know if you know anything about him. He does the little Golden Girls gimmick.
The Golden Girls gimmick? Oh, I gotta see that.
The Golden Girls gimmick, huh?
Yeah.
And he tells people to suck his ass. It's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, she's up.
Yeah, he points at his butt and just like, suck my ass. I'm like, what the? He's actually the hardcore champion right now over at Atomoc.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, he's the guy that runs around with the belt and tries to not get beat up.
So, how many championships are in Atomoc right now?
How many?
Yeah.
We have the heavyweight championship, which is held by Wes Briscoe.
Okay.
Hell of a worker, Wes.
Oh, wow, that's a big name.
Yeah, I love Wes. We have the rapid fire title held by me, tag titles held by me and my partner. Hardcore championship is held by Jerry Swirls. We have the Bombshells title, women's title, that's held by Destiny. And the next level belt that actually just won by Shannon Moore.
Oh, nice.
Shannon Moore.
Yeah, there's another one.
There's a big name there, too.
Yeah, Shannon just won the belt. He actually has a match against Vertigo coming up.
Yeah, with Vertigo last night.
We watched your tag team match from a couple years ago with you and Ray Zion versus the
Bolton. Yeah, Bolton and Vertigo.
Yeah.
Vertigo's another guy. Like I feel like he's a guy that hasn't really got a lot of recognition. His knowledge, he works really behind the scenes over with Alpha, over at WXW, and man, just Vertigo is someone that's great to learn from, man. That's a guy you can just pick his brain and you can just learn.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing people don't understand is like with the independents, that's where you learn it. And I mean, everybody's like, oh, well, it's not the WWE, but guess what? A lot of you guys that you go to WWE, that's your starting point, and you get there. So, I mean, and not only that, but it's just independents have like a different feel to it.
Yeah, it's funny because I look at guys such as Seth Rollins, Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak, Cedric Alexander. All these guys, they were all in the Indies.
Yeah.
Like people forget, man. Hunter was in the Indies at one time. Everyone has started from the Indies. You got to start somewhere to be recognized. I mean, a lot of guys are in the right place at the right time, and they get signed. So the Indies is the foundation, for where WWE is at. Because if it wasn't for the indie circuit for wrestling, it wouldn't be a WWE.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't have believed that a couple years ago, but when we started going to indie shows and seeing just how much you guys give for them people, it's like whoa, dude, the crowd's reaction, everything is just, it's all hype. It's cool. I love it, man.
Yeah, I remember even when I first started, thinking about it now, speaking of Cedric Alexander, I remember just going to an Evolve show doing a setup, and Cedric Alexander was there. I didn't know who he was at the time. And I just remember thinking, like, how good this guy was, And then finally, he finally got signed or whatever. Same thing with Ricochet. I mean, he was a guy that everyone said that wouldn't get signed, And I remember seeing him at shows that I would do. He'd just be there. He wouldn't do the shows. I think he was dating Tessa at the time. So he would be there for Tessa. And nice guy, man. There's a lot of them deserve to be signed. It just sucks that WWE doesn't really use them to their potential.
Yeah,
that is very true.
That is very true.
So there's a lot of guys that are from the Indies or in WWE. You know, once again, Seth Rollins is another guy was in Ring of Honor. You know,
Oh yeah, right.
Tyler Black, and he's a main eventer. You know, and these guys start somewhere, man. They didn't just go to their house and be like, "Hey, I think you could be a wrestler." Now, believe it or not, I know a few wrestlers that's happened. That they weren't wrestlers and WWE just grabbed them.
Right.
And just trained them at the Performance Center. Zeta Zang. I don't know if you guys know Zeta. She.
Oh, she's in NXT, isn't she?
No, she was. She did the Mae Young Classics. She's actually MLW or was an MLW. I don't know. I haven't talked to Zeta in a while. But she was with WWE, and they basically picked her up and trained her, and then released her, and then now she's doing indies.
Yeah. That's the cool thing too. Is it's like somebody like Cody Rhodes that went to the Indies, made something of himself, and now he's got his own company going. And it's like, dude, that dude is his knowledge for wrestling is just awesome.
Well, and you got to think. I mean, who his father was.
Be a fly on the wall with that sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Dusty Rhodes was a genius, man. He's a guy I feel like doesn't get a lot of recognition at the time he should have.
Right.
I mean, a lot of those guys from NXT, man, they were under Dusty. I mean, even beforehand, I mean, when I look at people like Pope again, he was a product of Dusty.
Yeah, and he was very underrated. I've always thought that Pope was very talented.
Yeah, and so it's like when you have a good hand, but wrestling's oversaturated. Yeah. So then you got to get the pickings of the crop, So a lot of talented guys such as Pope don't get the push that they pretty much deserve, I mean, I look at guys like Bobby Lashley, someone as athletic as him,
Yeah, where's our Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar? I want that already, right?
And they got the man doing the pose with the freaking Leo Rush, and then got him in a really weird storyline. But over at smaller promotions, he was a monster.
Absolutely.
In Impact, he was their Brock Lesnar, per se.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it was.
And we thought they brought him back so he could go against Brock Lesnar, but they've kind of shifted and not really using him like they should. So.
Yeah, but it just sucks, But once again, a lot of those guys came in the Indies. They started in Indies.
Absolutely. And what I appreciate now with the AEW, it feels like a big time promotion with still some indie feel to it.
Yeah.
Trying to make more pandering to the crowd and giving the crowd more what it deserves, especially when it comes to their favorite superstars.
I like AEW, but I'm very traditional, man. I respect the tradition. A lot of the AEW matches don't make any sense to me. When I see a dive in every match, I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh yeah, it's putting your body on the line every time too. So
yeah, psychology is completely off. But the fans are in it, and that's what matters. At the end of the day, it's the fans.
Right.
Is what matters. We put our bodies on. I can tell you, I mean, I've been hurt so many times. Wrestled hurt. It sucks.
Yeah. Especially if you take one to the ribs and you're having to do all that breathing to keep your stamina up, and then you can't really breathe.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I remember wrestling Andrew Everett. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He used to be on Impact.
Okay.
I think he thinking about it, he was I think he was trained by Gregory Helms. But
cool.
Flippy dude, really great, man. When I say like really great. And he did this springboard drop kick, kicked him dead in the face, ended up with a concussion.
Oh man.
So I remember as soon as he hit me, I just remember my head hurting really bad, and I was dizzy, and he hit me with a snap suplex. I woke up and was able to still wrestle.
Wow. You woke up staring at the lights and they're like, oh.
Yeah, so the snap suplex woke me up, and I just was like, oh crap, I'm in a match. So we finished the match off, and come to find out I had a concussion.
Wow.
So what really got you into wrestling?
What got me into it? I'm an adopted kid. So my adopted mom, that was like her thing, wrestling. So she introduced me into wrestling. And so it was our thing, every Monday, and we watch WCW, WWE together, all this stuff. When she died or whatever, when she had passed away, I still wanted to be like close to her, and wrestling was always our thing. So like I ended up just started to train, and the rest was history. I started off as a referee.
Oh, that's really cool, man.
Yeah, I was a referee for a while. Someone thought I had potential to do a lot more than referee, and they made me train as a wrestler.
Nice.
Right on.
You hear that's how some of wrestlers do get started.
Yeah, you get started on doing.
You do little things like, just help set up, and then you move into like getting FaceTime by being a referee, and if you're doing well enough, they'll, eventually. Because like Eliza Hayes, I don't know if you know her.
Yeah, I know her, the flower girl from Go Wrestle.
Yeah, flower girl. Yeah. We talked to her, and she said basically that's how she kind of got started into it. She started out as a referee as well for a little bit, and then she goes back and forth.
I actually remember Eliza Hayes as a referee. Think about it, she refereed a lot of my matches when I first started off.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I remember her as a referee, and she had a lot of brothers in our matches when we used to do Go Wrestle.
Nice.
We used to do Go Wrestle. We did Go Wrestle for like a year.
Yeah, we're subscribers.
Yeah, we did Go Wrestle for a year, and then like we kind of just moved on. We started getting a lot more bookings, and we appreciate everything that Kyle did, opportunity he gave us. We can't complain.
So besides Atomic, what other promotions are you currently attached to?
Man, there are so many. I've been blessed and fortunate, man. Very blessed. Wow. We've done Platinum Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
We've done Mid Florida. Last night was their last show. Actually, the promoter actually passed away a month ago.
Oh, no, that sucks.
Go Wrestle. We don't Go Wrestle. There's a Pope. Pope has he does his Duval brawls.
Yeah, I've seen some advertising on that. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they're fun. I actually wrestled Pope at the last Duval brawl. Me and Stunt Marshall, an indie guy, very good.
Yeah, we've seen Stunt Marshall with the USWA.
Yes, very talented dude. So me and Stunt worked Pope, and man, so many promotions that man I could think of that we've done. We've done a lot of Georgia Independent Wrestling. We've done man, I can't even think of this one promotion, man. A lot of North Florida stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we're everywhere, man. There's also another promotion that I like a lot. And come to find out where Robert Gibson actually saw Brothers in Arms, and actually we're gonna be doing some stuff with Robert Gibson coming up. Atmore main event. They're a really good promotion, really, really good promotion. They're all about giving the upcomers, a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy name is Danny. He runs the promotion. He's just a good promoter, man. He reminds me of Alex Red, and we got some stuff coming up with another promoter. I can't even think of his promotion right now. It's Heart something Wrestling. I know that I'm scheduled to wrestle Michael Lando.
Oh.
Another big guy.
Yeah. They always with the big guys, don't they?
Yeah, man, these giants, man, and they wonder why JD and Ray always help me.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
They can't stand to watch the beating. I don't know if you remember in the match with Pope, when Pope tried to make me. Did you watch the entire match?
Yeah, we watched it. Yeah.
All right, there's a part at the end where Pope, before he hits me with the chair, he tries to make me say I quit.
Right, yeah.
And then, if you notice, I scream my partner's name, Ray.
Yeah. I remember
That bastard was nowhere to be found. Didn't even come out.
that. Let's see. So,
People, huh?
I was going to say, one of our favorite nicknames we heard from you is the Florida Belt Collector.
Yeah, that is definitely a name that sticks with me. Giant killer and belt collector.
Yeah.
Because it seems like everywhere I go, I collect championships.
Which is pretty great start for you since you're now entering your 4th year as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So that's pretty prestigious nickname to have already.
Definitely. I love the way you work the crowd too, dude.
Oh yeah, it just people naturally can know how to work, as a heel, and the people are just so easy to work because they get so emotionally invested in it.
Oh yeah.
So they're very easy to work. But man, end of the day, I appreciate the fans because they're very supportive, very very supportive, especially at Atomic. They're very supportive and they follow my journey from Atomic to just everywhere. So I'm blessed, man. Like every opportunity I've gotten, I count it as a blessing. I don't say that I deserve it. I have earned it, but there's other guys that wish they were in my position.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I have a match against Crime Time coming up.
That's a good man. And man, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, we're.
I hope we get some footage of that because I'd love to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm pretty sure the promoter will put it on YouTube and everything. I mean, I grew up loving Crime Time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We Crime Time. Another. Well, now this is a tag team, but we feel that didn't get the proper push they deserved.
Yeah.
I think they were good individually too. They were pretty good.
Yeah, individually they were pretty good, but as a team they were fantastic.
Oh, Crime Time?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, singles they were really good, and but you know what? Even though they're good in singles, they're better together.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Just like the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, it's just better together. It's not the same, I look at like Bret Hart and like Jim Neidhart. You know what? Those were two guys that they were just good singles, but I was okay with them doing singles. I wasn't like Crime Time. I felt like they should have just stayed as a team. Hardys should just stay as a team because you just did that chemistry.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
And that's like with me and my partner Ray's. We're good singles, but we feed off each other in tag team. And I feel like we shine better as a team than separately.
Definitely. And we like your guys' team because we like the teams that have the one powerhouse and then the one that's the high flyer.
It's
a combination.
Yeah, you get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, which is what we like. Sometimes having two powerhouses is fine.
It's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch them, but
I like a good balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and Ray have been together for 3 years, 3.5. Because when I first started Brothers in Arms, Ray wasn't in the group. Or Jake. It was me and another guy that was around my size. And we ended up getting Ray, and I was like, man, we might need a bodyguard, man.
Right.
I met Ray at a place where I was training at the time in Orlando. He was at that same school as me, and I saw Ray. He was just a big guy, and the place that we were training at, they weren't using him at all. Like, he was just a big guy getting lost in the shuffle at the shows. And I brought him on board, and then we started Brothers in Arms, and then the other guy, we ended up jumping him, who was originally in there, and then it just me and Ray has been the team together. And JD ended up joining, and he was a guy that helped me in the beginning. He was the guy that said I had a lot more potential. to do more, as well as Alex Red. Alex Red was the first person to bring that up to me. They felt like I had a lot more potential. And then JD was the second guy to be like, stop refereeing, you got potential. And he actually helped the Brothers in Arms gimmick in the beginning. He wasn't with us, but he gave us the idea of what we should do and how to work it, and this what works, this what doesn't work. And so he basically helped us put the foundation, the layers of the gimmick together.
Yeah, you guys gel real well.
Yeah.
You guys just good matches. I've enjoyed watching.
Absolutely.
It's funny to watch the videos because when I see myself come out and I do all this trash talking, I'm really not like that.
Right.
That's what some people don't understand too. Is behind the scenes, it's a totally different person.
Because like we come out as thugs or whatever, and I personally dress nice, and I don't use a lot of slang words.
Right.
I'm laid back. I mean, I will be honest. I mean, there was a time in my life growing up, I was kind of like that, right, in a hood form, but then I grew up and, I just wanted a better life for myself.
Absolutely. So
even Ray didn't grow up hood at all, man. He's the definition of Fresh Prince. So Carlton Banks, man. Yeah, I remember when he first brought me. Yeah, he brought me to his family's house, man. We pulled up at a big old house, man, and I was like, "What the?" I thought we were going on a robbery or something. The way we go up there, I was like, "Oh man," he was like, the way he talks, with dreads and everything. He walks in, "Hello, mother." I was like, "What the?" He been lying this whole time.
I wouldn't need a guest either.
Jason's over here. I'm a little bit Will Smith, but this guy's straight Carlton.
Yeah, man, this man Carlton for real, man. He's, it was funny because they had a breakfast in the morning. And it was like a big old table. It was a big old spread. And I was like, what the? I'll never forget that. Listen, there's pictures of him in a sweater vest.
Oh, Lord.
And he gets angry at me if I look at that picture and laugh.
I bet. And
then there are pictures of him when he's growing up, and he starts growing his dreads, and he looks like Ludacris.
Wow, that's funny.
Yeah, I look at his picture and I'll be screaming Luda.
You're about expecting him to be listening to Tom Jones records and stuff.
Yeah. It's funny he listens to rap and everything. I mean, at least when I'm around, but I can only imagine when you really classical music. That's another thing. JD Amazing listens to classical music as angry as he looks.
Really? Wow.
I was like, I remember I was in a car with him. We were coming back from a show and he's listening to his music. And it was like Beethoven or something. I was like, what the hell? And he was like, it's calming. I was like, oh. I was like, okay. I said, I guess none of us are thugs, man. We all lied.
Jason's probably in the back seat going, man, if we keep listening to this, I'm going to be passed out.
Yeah, and I was falling asleep, and I wake up, and he's listening to Beethoven. I'm like, what the? I would never forget that, but honestly, both of them are great guys, really great guys. Ray and JD's, once again, those are guys to learn from. Ray, as big as he is, he can work like a little guy. I don't know. You've probably never seen any of his stuff where he does like a flip in the ring, and I hate when he does it because he's so big. But he can work like Keith Lee.
Wow.
If you let him work, do it.
Yeah, we saw. My first time seeing Keith Lee was at Survivor Series. We watched the pay-per-view Survivor Series, and I'm sitting there watching Keith Lee move around, and I'm like, that dude's too big to be moving around like that now.
Yeah, he's something special, man. And I'm glad guys like him are on the roster. I'm actually glad guys like him on the roster. WWE is a really good place to go. Personally, me, I have no interest in WWE. I have other interests, but I know my partner, I guess he wants to one day try to go into Japan or stuff like that. Personally, me, I don't think he should. He's a good wrestler. I think he's more of a Ring of Honor Impact guy.
Right. So since what is your aspirations then, anyways? Since it's not to be at the pinnacle, man.
What, like my goals?
Yeah, for your wrestling career.
Honestly, when I first started this, I wanted this to be a thing where, was feeling close to my mother, but as well as I was a troubled teen growing up. So I got in a lot of trouble, did a lot of time, So I wanted this to be a positive thing for younger kids to where you can still, reach your goals and reach for your dreams, You don't have to be a statistic by people telling you if you get in trouble once, you're always going to get in trouble, I like to think I'm a proven fact that you can change your life around. And I was constantly in trouble, man. It's a known fact that, hell, I went to prison for 5 years. Did prison 5 years and came out and changed my life around. So I wanted wrestling to be a positive thing where, people can still reach for their goals. If it ain't wrestling, then whatever the heck it is, you can still reach for it, And I live a pretty good life, despite going to prison for 5 years.
Absolutely.
I'm not shy to tell people, hey, I've been locked up. I'm not, because, it's the reason where I'm at right now.
Right. Yeah, it changed your life.
It did. And I just wanted a better life for myself. And in wrestling, I've made good friends. I've gotten to learn a lot. I've worked some great workers. And I've got a lot of opportunities coming up, really big opportunities for myself. But right there, that just says that if I can change my life, anyone can change your life.
Absolutely.
So that was my main goal, was I wanted to be a positive thing for younger people, for kids, that are getting in trouble or whatever, You can change your life around. It's never too late. You can always reach your goals, and whatever you want in life, you can make it happen. So if someone says you can't do it, you can.
Yeah, about that. People always tell me I can't do this or that because I'm in a wheelchair, but I do what I can. So
yeah, yeah, and people have different paths in life. I feel like everything that happens in life is for a reason. So like even with me, I've gotten a lot of blessings with wrestling, and I pay it forward. I help a lot of guys get bookings. If it isn't with Atomoc, it's wherever, Hype Pro Wrestling, Riot Pro Wrestling, Real Pro, wherever, I can help someone get a booking at, I pay it forward and bless them back.
That's awesome, man.
And I feel like, because all the blessings I got, Alex Red has trusted me with Atomoc stuff to give me opportunities because he sees it in me. So I like to pay it forward. I've been trying to get a lot of different guys on Atomoc, and we've been given a lot of different opportunities there. I might be the heel general manager, but I'm fair.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a blessing, man. And even off script, guys like Elijah, that's one thing I will say is, despite the battles I've had with him, he's one guy that's actually cared to help me get better. And me and him had a bunch of battles, man, but it's always a learning experience. And he tells me, man, it's a learning experience, So guys like him, guys like Adam Rose, those are guys that actually cared to get in the ring and teach me.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a payday for them. Hell, I don't even ever talking bad about any wrestler, but like the ECW show we just had at Atomoc. I felt bad for Alex because it wasn't the way he wanted it, but man, just a lot of things behind the scenes it was stressful.
Right.
I'm pretty sure you guys seen the whole Sandman ordeal.
I've seen a couple interviews about Sandman on there, yeah.
Yeah, where he botched the finish and
yeah.
Yeah, and he just went on a 10-minute rant. I love the part when he called Coco, Florida, Orlando. He's like, "Thank you, Orlando." We're in Coco. And then he looks at Shannon Moore, and for some reason he thought Shannon Moore was retiring. And he looks at Shannon Moore. He's like, "What?" He's like, "Come on, get in the ring, kid." Call Shannon Moore, kid. He's like, "Get in the ring, kid. What are you gonna retire with the strap?" I'm like, "Oh God."
Oh,
Oh Lord.
And then he's like calling. He's like, let's have a three-way dance, and there's 4 guys in the ring. I was like, if you guys have not seen that video, I'm gonna send it to you guys.
Yes,
please do, man.
He's like drunk and he's just going off on everybody. It's ridiculous, man. Just like guys like that, it's hard for me to respect because you come in for a payday.
Yeah, right.
And I watch guys that come in there with their heart and soul, man, and they just they know that they're the draw. Pope knows he's the draw. Shannon Moore knows he's a draw. These big names that come in know they're a draw, but they always give 100% to the locker room, to the fans, And Wes Briscoe is another guy that might not be a big name, but that guy puts in 110% of everything he does.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
You know who Wes Briscoe is, don't you?
Sounds familiar.
The Briscoe brothers?
Oh, from the Briscoe brothers.
Yeah. Ring of Honor and all that?
Yeah.
No, not him.
Not him?
Not him. Wes Briscoe, he is Jerry Briscoe's nephew.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
The original Briscoe brothers.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
The father has a son that wrestles. And if you haven't seen any of Wes Briscoe's stuff, thinking about it, he was on Impact. He used to wrestle in Impact with Aces and 8.
Yeah.
With when I think Bully Ray had that group or something.
Yeah.
Bully Ray had a group.
It had Luke Gallows and some other people too.
Yes, Wes was part of that, as well as Garrett Bischoff. Garrett Bischoff was thinking about it, Brothers in Arms beat Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff for the tag titles.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, we ended up beating them for the tag titles. They were a good team. They weren't Aces and 8, but they still kind of wore the whole Aces and 8 stuff. But Wes Briscoe, if you guys have not seen any of his stuff, that's someone that you guys should definitely look at.
Definitely.
Man, he's all jacked up, and his work ethic is just top notch. You could tell he's a Briscoe.
Yeah, right.
His work is top notch.
You said you wanted to say something.
No, that's all good.
Then you looked at me.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious. How does a New Yorker end up in Florida?
Yeah.
After I got adopted, my adopted mom wanted to retire, and she just moved us to Florida. Felt like Titusville, Florida was a good retirement resort for old people. Personally, me, I think she was just trying to get me out of New York, so my real parents couldn't really get a hold of me.
Okay.
I personally feel like that's what it was, but we moved here and I liked it here. Now I hate the cold.
Right, I bet.
Yeah, we're from Oregon, so we don't like the cold anymore either.
Of course, we're living north central Florida, so close to the Georgia border, we still get cold. So.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's just Florida, man. I like Florida, man. Plus, there's a lot of opportunity wrestling here with NXT.
Yeah, I definitely noticed that.
Yeah, I was in culture shock when it came down here with how much indie stuff there is down here, because from Oregon, you don't really have a whole lot. Unless you're going to be up north living in the Portland area, you're not going to see a whole bunch of wrestling indie stuff. But here, it's like you can throw a rock and hit an indie promotion, it seems like, anywhere.
Wait, so you don't have indie promotions really by you?
No, we do here where we're at. I was talking about when we lived out in Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, man, it's so weird, man. For wrestling everywhere, the wrestling is so different from like Georgia and Florida.
Yeah.
Man, Florida, it's like spot this, spot that. Let's go in there and do a bunch of high flying stuff like lucha. Georgia, man, it's at I like to call it the Hogan wrestling. You know, do that leg drop, body slam, elbow drop. So yeah, it's so funny because the fans, man, if I do like a backflip drop kick, fans in Georgia,
I like seeing that.
What happened?
Oh, that's one of his favorite moves of yours is when you go up, when they try to Irish whip you into the post and you do that jump backflip and then drop kick them.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I do it. Georgia, man, they don't care, man. They don't care about that.
They don't like it. It's in Georgia.
Yeah, they don't care. Huh?
They're kind of like, eh.
Yeah, nah, man. But if I do a Hogan boot and a Hogan leg drop, man, they pop.
Yeah.
He's a hero now, man. He just hit the Hogan, guys.
Right.
If I do any of that normal old stuff, they like it.
They like the old school, yeah.
Yeah. But what we really appreciate about you too is when we were watching your matches more and more and getting to see how you've come up over the years. One of my favorite things about you is how well you're doing on your cells on when you're being, beat, your so-called beat down moments when you're getting beaten down. You do a really great job on that. I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but you kind of have like a Shawn Michaels aspect to you that you do a really good job.
I've heard that multiple times. When I first started, people would tell me that I resemble Shawn Michaels from the cells and stuff like that with the double bumps.
Yeah. When I was like, so I asked him, do you think he's more Michaels or Flair? Then I watch him, he's more Michaels.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a few times where he seems to oversell it, but then we're like, well, sometimes Michaels gets a little overselling too.
I love.
It's a good pop.
Yeah, it does.
I love both of them, man. I love Flair. I love Shawn Michaels. They're like, if any matches I really study, like to get better, is probably, I would have to say it's both of them.
Right.
A little more on Shawn Michaels. I love Shawn Michaels, because he was a smaller guy.
Right.
And there were the big guys, man. Shawn Michaels, man, he, as small as he was, he still looked 10 feet tall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I love his old matches with like Diesel.
Oh yeah, yeah. They had some good matches back in the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so definitely selling wise, I probably naturally get it from like a Shawn Michaels or something just over the years of watching that, and it probably really did hurt.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. I mean, that's what I know. I know a lot of people are like, well, why do you watch wrestling? It's fake. I'm like, not everything they do is scripted.
No, it's no. I could say that firsthand, man. I've taken moves, man, where it's like, man, I thought they killed me.
Right. I mean, you just mentioned it. You took a shot to the face, and then it took a suplex to wake you back up to make you realize you were still in a match.
Yeah, it hurts, man. I remember Vindicated Villains came up with a finisher, man. I can't even remember how they set it up. But it was something where Fulton picked me up, and then the other one came in and scooped me for something. And I just remember hitting the ground so hard and my neck hurting. And I was like, man, this sucks, man. I hate them both. And I'm holding my neck, and they're holding the tag titles. I'm like, screw those guys.
He tried to kill me.
For these belts.
Just for a strap of leather with metal on it.
Yeah, man. So it was a move, man. I remember just thinking, man, how much it hurt, man. Just how much that move just hurt. I've taken moves that just really, really hurt, man. I remember Adam Rose hip tossed me basically across the ring. I landed like at the ropes.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, and then I remember doing a crossbody with him, which might have been the most dumbest thing for me to ever do, a double crossbody with someone that big. I bounced off of him.
Oh wow.
So there's the double crossbody from both of us because we both were thinking of doing the same move together. And we both do it. We're both in opposite directions. As soon as I crash hits his body, he just seems to bounce right off of him. And I'm like, man, that was stupid. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun doing all working guys like Adam Rose and Pope, and I've worked even, I don't know if you guys know Jesse Neal.
Jesse Neal, yeah.
I've worked Jesse Neal multiple times, even when I first started. It's just a blessing, just to work guys like that and their knowledge and where they're at, who they are.
It's awesome what you're doing, and we appreciate it so much, man. We enjoy having you on the podcast. It's a blessing.
Thank you, man. I enjoyed being on. I know you guys were sick and we had to reschedule, and
yeah, unfortunately.
And now everybody's sick, I guess. So.
Yeah, the coronavirus, man.
Yeah.
So just real quick, before we let you go, how's that been working for you guys? I mean, having to deal with this now pandemic that's been going on.
It sucks. I know Funny Bones made a post about he's lost 14 bookings. I've had a couple. I don't count how many bookings I've lost. I just know I've had a handful so far that I lost. But I like to think I'm a very smart businessman, and I know I am. So I've always had backups. So I lost the booking and caught a backup booking. Lost the booking, caught another backup booking.
He's got a list.
Yeah.
So and it's because I'm in good with a lot of promoters, man. They trust me, to perform at a top level, and I don't care about the money, and I make pretty good money, to be honest with you, doing some of these shows. But it's not about the money. It's about entertaining and giving those people something to go home. People. I mean, you guys do a podcast. Everyone is doing their own thing to support wrestling, and that's why I respect people that do podcasts or dirt sheets or any of that stuff. We all love professional wrestling, and that right there, that what brings all of us as a whole is the love for wrestling.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be in the ring to show you love wrestling. You can have the podcast, you can be a referee, be the bell keeper. It doesn't matter. Everyone is in it for the love of wrestling. So, and we're one big extended family. A lot of guys don't think of it that way, but I like to.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed since we've started doing interviews and just going to events, that people are really accepting anyways. So.
And they're not. There are a lot of old timers that have beliefs. I'm the same way with beliefs, but wrestling isn't what it used to be in the 80s, man. It's not, man. Kayfabe, man, it's kind of hard, man. People know. They kind of feel like Vince McMahon ruined the kayfabe stuff.
Yeah. Well, social media kind of ruined it.
Yeah, so it's like, you know what, man? It's wrestling isn't fake, but it's real. I'll tell you that. It's real. The bumps are real. The injuries are real. It's real, man. And there's fans out there that, who are we to take that from them? They spend their hard-earned money to forget about what's going on at home, and they come to watch a good show. So even if it means me getting beat up, we're doing something positive. We're doing something good for the fans, So I appreciate everybody that is supporting wrestling. And even what you guys doing this interview with me, that's more promoting for me, I'm getting promoted somewhere.
Right, exactly. Absolutely. It's a win-win for all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I appreciate you guys for all the hard work you guys, definitely doing. And I'll definitely keep contact with you guys and, support the podcast and spread the word, man, because you guys got something special. You guys do a lot of good work.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
We really do.
So, yeah, definitely you guys keep the hard work, man. And thank you for having me on.
No problem, man.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right. So next time, which I don't know when that would be, we will talk.
All right,
Absolutely.
we'll see you, man.
All right, everybody. That was Jason Dugan, Atomic Wrestling GM, Rapid Fire Champion, and current Tag Champion. We appreciate you being on.
You have a good one, brother.
You too.
You too, man.
Thank you.